welcome. You're watching Newsx and I'm Shivani Singh. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. In the case of Jeffrey Epstein, 68 new pictures might be worth 1,000 subpoenas. For years, the world has been told that the Jeffrey Epstein saga was a closed chapter, a sordid tale of a lone predator and his high society acquaintances. We were told that these powerful men, the presidents, the philanthropists, the intellectuals, were simply misled, that they were polite guests who had no idea what was happening behind the gilded doors of Little St. James. Well, the House Oversight Committee has just released a new cache of images from the Epstein estate. And now the oops, I didn't know excuse is looking thinner than ever. From Bill Gates to Noam Chomsky, from Steve Bannon to Donald Trump, the guest list of this dark ecosystem is as diverse as it is disturbing. Let's start with an image that is as bizarre as it is revealing. It's a mirror selfie, but not the kind that you see on Instagram. This is Steve Bannon, the firebrand of the American right, the man who rails against the elites, captured in a mirror reflection inside Jeffrey Epstein's townhouse. Epstein himself is in the frame, partially obscured. Why was the anti-establishment guru Bannon filming a series of interviews with a convicted sex offender? Bannon claims that it was for a documentary that was never released. He says that he wanted to expose the financier. But look at the setting. Look at the proximity. This wasn't a hostile interrogation. It was a comfortable interaction in the inner sanctum of a predator. It proves that the swamp that Bannon claims to have wanted to drain had a very high-end plumbing system. And he was right in the middle of it. Then we have the man of global health and equity, Bill Gates. Now we already know that Gates met Epstein multiple times. He has expressed regret for it. But these new images add a visual weight to those admissions. One photo shows Bill Gates alongside Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, at Epstein's home. Think about the optics. A tech titan, a British royal, and a convicted pedophile. What was the agenda? Gates' office says that the meeting were about philanthropy. Philanthropy? In a house that was essentially a hub for human trafficking? The question is not just why they were there. The question is why they stayed. Why did the most powerful man in tech and a senior member of the British monarchy feel so comfortable in the company of a man the world already knew was a sex offender by 2008? The intellectual curiosity excuse doesn't hold water when the host is a monster. And perhaps the most jarring name in this new batch of files is Noam Chomsky. Yes, the legendary linguist, the man who taught generations how to manufacture consent, the champion of the oppressed and the fiercest critic of the American power structure. What was he doing there? Chomsky's explanation was quite frankly dismissive. When asked about his meetings with Epstein, he told the reporters, and I quote, "It's none of your business." Actually, Professor, when a man who spends his life moralizing about the crimes of the elite is found dining with a sex trafficker, it becomes everyone's business. The files show Epstein arranged meetings for Chomsky. They discuss politics, academia, and finance. It reveals a terrifying truth, that even the most radical intellectuals are not immune to the gravity of extreme wealth. The ivory tower and the den of iniquity were apparently on the same mailing list. And then there is the bizarre. Among the images released are photos of novelty items found in Epstein's properties, specifically novelty condoms that were featuring the face of Donald Trump. The packaging actually read, "I'm huge." It sounds like a bad joke, but it speaks to the atmosphere of these estates. It wasn't just a home, it was a playground of vanity and power. Other photos show Trump posing with groups of women whose faces have been redacted. We are told that these are old friends. We are told that everyone knew him. But that is exactly the point. Everyone knew. So what do these 68 images tell us that thousands of pages of documents didn't? They tell us that Jeffrey Epstein wasn't an outliner. He was the connective tissue. He was the man who brought the left and the right, the scientist and the politician, the royal and the rebel together. He didn't just provide services. He provided a space where the rules of the ordinary world, laws, ethics, basic human decency did not apply. For the people in these photos, Epstein was a useful man. He was a bridge to money, to influence, and to a level of secrecy that the rest of us can only imagine. The House Oversight Committee says that there are over 95,000 photos in total. We have seen 68. 95,000. Imagine what is in the other 94,932. The tragedy of the Epstein case is not just the crimes he committed. It is the complexity of the good and the great. It is the silence of the people who claim to lead us. These images don't just show us who was in the room. They show us how the world really works. It's a club. And as the late George Carlin once said, you and I are not in it. But we are the ones left to pick up the pieces of a broken justice system that allowed this to happen for decades. The masks are falling off. But is everyone going to hold the faces behind them accountable? Think about it. Thank you for watching.
For more such videos, subscribe to the Newsx YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.